All right. I'm about to say something controversial. Surprise. And that is that I don't necessarily care that Hezbollah put his hands on and physically abused a cat. Oh, how terrible is that of you to say? But I do care about the people who enable a mentally disabled person, right, to act out violently and be incentivized for it and praised for it because people think it's cute when a little midget throws fists at something. And then when that same little mentally handicapped midget decides to put hands on an animal that doesn't know any better and he doesn't know any better, now everybody is upset at him. And I'm here to say, no, we have to stop this. In the world, in the era of everybody believing in diversity, equity, and inclusion, we have some common misconceptions here. We think that we can let, for lack of a better term, retarded people operate normally in society. That's not necessarily bad, but it's unrealistic. Retarded people, and I'm not going to use any other term here. If you have a problem with me saying retarded people, if you think there's a negative connotation with calling retarded people, people who are legitimately retarded, then this is not the place for you. And if YouTube has a problem with me calling legitimately retarded people then this is not the place for me. But I am going to do that because that's what I'm talking about. And it's very important to the conversation. Being that Hasbulla is a 20-something-year-old man in the shape of an infant or a toddler, his brain can only grow to a certain amount of size, right? That's right off the bat. So we're dealing with a human with an underdeveloped brain, and it's obvious. People take that person and they put him in situations where he fights other midgets. Cool. They bring him around the world. He throws punches at people. He acts like a feisty little toddler. Cool. Mike Tyson show. He throws punches at Mike Tyson and Mike picks him up like a little baby and does all kind of weird stuff. Cool. There is a video released of him playing very roughly with a cat and basically hitting it and pulling on its ears. Not cool. The question that I ask is, who do we blame for that? The retarded person who is doing something retarded, or the people who have incentivized the retarded person to do increasingly stupid things? Notice how I switched from retarded to stupid there, because I'm not saying that they're encouraging him to do retarded things. Hitting people, fighting is not a retarded thing. A retarded person may be more, may have a higher propensity for violence and these kind of things, but I wouldn't call that retarded behavior, okay? And making these delineations is how you allow yourself access to use these kind of words. Like, they can't call it a slur when I'm talking about legitimate retardation in its actual form that it's, manifests itself in reality. I want to ask you a question. When you saw the video of Hasbulla abusing a cat, did you notice that he wasn't filming himself? Did you ask yourself who was the person filming him? Because that's the person I believe is to blame for the cat being abused, right? That's a person who's allowing a cat to be abused in front of them while they do not stop their retarded friend from abusing the cat. No. Instead of stopping the retard from abusing the cat, they pick up a camera and start filming the retard abusing the cat. I have a problem with that. And if you have a problem with me calling Hasbulla a retard more than you have a problem with what I'm actually bringing up, that's exactly why I'm saying it in this way. Same goes to you, YouTube. And I will be keeping this video in my records so that I can re-upload it if anything happens to this. And this is not just about Hasbulla, because this is a microcosm of a much larger issue. Look at the trans community. Look at how we try and legitimize mental illness. Notice how I'm not calling it retardation, because there's a difference between retardation, and mental illness. Let's make that delineation here. And we have to be allowed to talk about it in order to understand the difference. Trans people are obviously mentally ill because they believe they were born in the wrong body. That's not retarded, but that is mentally ill. And in the society that we live in, rather than explaining to them and trying to help them live their best reality, we confirm the information. We confirm and we affirm delusion. And when people like me go out in the world and try and tell people, hey, yeah, it's not real, we are viewed as bigots or bad. And then situations like what happened at Covenant's church and school happen, right? And now everybody's like, oh, no. And they blame guns instead. Something that weapons, whether they guns, swords, anything, are always going to exist. And humans will always utilize tools to overcome obstacles and fulfill objectives. That's that's God-given gift, evolutionary, right? Whether it's guns or not, or clubs or big sticks or blades, we've always had weapons, right? So rather than controlling the mannerisms, the mental health, and the culture of humans, we would blame the tools that we use to achieve certain results and say that tool shouldn't exist. Is anybody going to forget what guns look like, what they do, and how they're made? Is that going to become a lost knowledge like the floating hovercraft of Egypt? I'm sure there are some people out there who would want that to be the case, but I don't believe it to be so. Seeing as how in places where guns are already illegal, they are producing ghost guns, 3D printed guns that are untraceable, and many, many different reasons. But I'm saying all this to say that instead of tackling actual issues, we politicize things and make it a point of commentary, a point of drama, a point of entertainment or something. I think that people would rather be entertained by a fucked up world than be a little bit more bored and occupied with the work of making it a better place. I feel it in the depths of my heart. Seeing things on Twitter, when you go on Twitter and you refresh your feed and there's nothing new, nothing of importance happening, boredom kicks in. And I'm talking about myself here. In the base nature of myself, you become slightly disappointed. Like, oh man, nothing exciting to see while I'm scrolling. But we have to make sure that we don't let that turn into, oh man, I wish that something would happen. Because I feel like that is kind of the culture that we're in right now. Everybody wants to watch the explosion. Everybody wants revelations to come. Everybody wants the world to end because we feel so bored in our own skin. We are so afraid of discussing and facing our own decline and inevitable mortality that we like to observe that in the chaos around us. And when there is order and when there is calm and silence and peace, we get bored. So we tune into retards like Hasbulla beating cats. Well, and then have false outrage about it online. Oh, this piece of crap, Hasbulla beat a cat. You mean the retard, like the mentally handicapped person? You wish that bad things happened to the person for beating a cat? Have you ever had a cousin or somebody with Down syndrome or anything like that? Like, have you ever had a mentally handicapped cousin? Have you ever had a retarded cousin? Have you ever had them around pets or anything and understand that you have to constantly watch them? Imagine your retarded cousin that you have to watch to make sure that he doesn't choke on pencils and stuff when he's around. Imagine he gets around a group of people who not only allow him to do his thing, but they also incentivize him with money and all kind of nice things anytime that he does something that is violent. What do you think, you know what that does to a regular person's brain? It makes regular people act out in that way. So imagine what that does to a retarded person's brain. Now, I've said retarded plenty of times in this video. And if you made it to the end, let me know. Was there ever a time where I used the term retarded in this video that made you feel offended or felt like I was trying to talk down to or belittle retards or retarded people? Period. Oh, I said period. Whoops. That was, I have this little tick that I have because I use the talk to text feature on my phone a lot. Sometimes you'll hear me say LOL instead of actually laughing. Sometimes you'll hear me say period because that's what I say when I'm putting in my punctuation. So that was just a little slip that I had there on camera. I thought it would be a funny time to share that anecdote. But what I was saying is, yeah, how long are we going to allow something like that to continue before we can actually address the situation? And yeah, I totally derailed myself, but I was asking you guys if anything that I said felt harmful or like I want something bad to happen specifically to Hasbulla because I called him retarded. Like it's not obvious that he's retarded. If anybody hates that, because I'm obviously the primary point of making this video is the actual topic I'm addressing. But I hope you understand in the way that I do my content is also, it's a two-pronged attack. Because I have the information that I'm talking about, but also the way that I'm doing it is to combat this censorship. Because it's silly. Listen, out of all the times that I've said retarded, it's silly for me to get a ban or have any type of punishment or anything for this video if I haven't said anything that is legitimately bad for retarded people. If calling people retarded, not calling regular people, but calling legitimately mentally handicapped people retarded is bad, then I need somebody to explain to me why it's bad. And it can't just be, oh, because it hurts their feelings. That's not true. Retarded people don't know that retarded is a bad thing until people show them that it is. Now, if I was like, oh, you fucking retard, stupid loser, that's different, right? But that's not what I'm doing here. There was a point in time where the word retard or retarded was used, I believe medically at least, but as a legitimate term to describe people who have mental handicaps. And now we have to talk about mentally handicapped people. And it's like, what does that mean? Retarded used to be a much more concise way. When you said somebody's retarded, you didn't necessarily know what form of retardation they had, but you knew. Calling them mentally handicapped, calling them mentally ill is a wide variety of different things that it possibly could mean. So when I use this kind of language, it's not because I'm out of control. It's not because I'm a hateful person. It's not because I wish harm upon retarded people. But I'm reclaiming the English language before they take more and more away. Because the less words that we're able to use, the less meaning that we're able to convey. And while I don't think that all words should be used in all cases during all topics, there's respect and there are things that are appropriate, inappropriate to say. I don't believe that this is the case. And I don't believe that the censorship that is going on is for that reason. I actually believe it's for doublethink and erasure of culture, thoughts, and opinions that we currently share so they can shift us more towards what they want us to think and feel like and erase any type of information that speaks to thoughts and opinions outside of the echo chamber that they want us all to exist in. That's why I'll end this video. Retard.